out to play. All the bees are out to play. My cat just tried to catch a butterfly. Gee, lie down. Thank you. Hey everyone, this is Lauren, and as you can see, we are not at Honey Llama Farms today. We are actually in the backyard of my parents' home, mostly because it's so green and lovely right now. And because it's so lovely, we're going to talk about pollinator gardens. This time of year, spring is either approaching you, depending on where you live, or you are in full spring mode. Here in Texas, it's full spring mode. And I get so many people who come up to me and always ask me, what is the best thing that they can be planting to bring in the pollinators, to bring in all those happy little bees and butterflies that make our gardens oh so pretty and are so much fun to watch. So I decided, why not do a fun little video? And that's what we talk about. We're going to talk about pollinator gardens and great things to plant, how to care for them, and what makes a good pollinator garden for your bees and butterflies. So depending on where you live, you might be looking at a few different flowers. Here in Houston, we are in Southeast Texas. So we're about at an 8B9 zone, which means that it's mid-March, but we are very quickly getting into warm temperatures already. So things are blooming, all the birds, bees, and butterflies are out, and they are ready to go. They're waiting for that nectar flow, and they are hitting it hard. So what I have with me are just some of my favorite choices for the pollinator garden, things that bloom really well here in Houston. They handle the heat, they handle the sun, and they just stay beautiful for you all season long. So let's get started. First plant that I'm going to bring up is actually a great plant for your butterflies and also for your bees. This is, and I'm going to butcher this, so I apologize, Asclepias, but you more commonly know it as milkweed. Or butterfly weed to some people. And this is an awesome plant because it does produce a small little flower on the top that is a great little pollen source for the bees. But also, if you want to bring in your butterflies, specifically the monarchs, this is the one you need. This is the host plant for the monarch butterfly, and they will come in. She will lay her delicate little eggs on the underside of the leaves, and then when the larvae come out, this is what they eat off of until they are ready to cocoon and then transform into lovely little butterflies themselves. So this is definitely a pollinator garden must. I highly encourage you to get some milkweed in your garden. You will make your pollinators very happy. All right, another one of my favorite pollinator plants is a Buddleja Davidii, or also more commonly known as a butterfly bush. This little beauty gets really big and she gets very woody. So she will get tall and full, and she puts off these beautiful different colored plumes of flower clusters, and the bees and butterflies absolutely love them. They are an amazing nectar source for your pollinators. So this is a great piece to put in your garden if you want a real showpiece, something that you just walk in the backyard in the middle of summer, you go, wow, like how gorgeous is that? I highly recommend you look into getting yourself a Buddleja. This is a Penta lanceolata, and she is a perennial, and she does really well in zones 10 and 11. So she's really great for us. If it's a really, really cold winter, she'll might die back, she might not make it through, but if you live in even warmer conditions, then this is going to just kind of hang out, go dormant during your winter months, and then flush back out in the summer. She puts off these beautiful little clusters of flowers, spring, summer, fall, and the bees and butterflies absolutely love it. You'll just see them hovering around this at all times. It's pretty fun to watch. So I definitely recommend getting a variety of the Penta. The next recommendation that I really like, because it's just a happy looking little flower, is your Euryalps. And this is a African bush daisy. Does great in the heat, which is one of the reasons why I love it so much. It can take a beating from the sun. It can also go really dry, and you won't have to immediately panic that it's going to die on you. It does zones 8 through 11, and it is a perennial. They have these big, beautiful open flowers. They have big, easy to access pads or petals for your bees and your butterflies to come in. This is a great pollen source for your bees. So they come in, they'll land on these very easy to get to petals, and then they will collect all that little pollen, they'll wrestle around in there, fill their little pollen packs, and off they'll go. And the sun's like, poof. This beauty right here, this is, get it out of my face, a Duranta Erecta. I love Duranta because they put off these awesome little purple blooms that just stand out. I've got a bee buzzing around me right now because of it. And this girl gets big. She gets big, she gets full, she gets green, she gets purple, she gets all the beauty, and she gets all the bees. They absolutely love her because, again, this is a great nectar source for your bees because it's a flower that grows in clusters, which makes it an easy access to a lot of food source. And that little trumpet, kind of deep-throated flower is a great little cup for your nectar, and it makes it real easy for your bees to get to it. Here's another beautiful little flower that I'm going to do my best to not butcher the name of, and that is an Argyranthemum frutescens. Frutescens. That's what I wrote down, and that's what I'm going with. Argyranthemum frutescens. I like to call it the Marguerite daisy. She is a very happy little flower. Just, you look at it, you smile. She's adorable. She's cute. This is a little tender perennial here in Houston. She's a very happy little flower. Again, a great little pollen source for the bees. I always see bees hanging around on this. Again, rolling around in these beautiful open little flower pads, collecting all that good pollen, shoving it in their little pollen packs, buzzing along to the next one. I highly recommend you get yourself a cute little Marguerite daisy because she's just fun. I always preach Salvia to everyone because I love Salvia. Especially here in Texas, Salvia can take such a beating from the sun. I mean, this stuff can be used, abused, and tortured from the heat. And this is one of my favorites because of how beautiful the flowers are. This is Salvia Guaranitica, Salvia Guaranitica, or black and blue salvia. This is a great option for nectar because the deep throat of the salvia flower is a really easy nectar source for your bees and butterflies. You will absolutely love how she looks in your garden. And if we do get a little more of a cold winter here in Houston, she dies back. Just trim her back in early spring and then feed her. She lushes out and she comes back bigger and better than ever. I love black and blue salvia because the color is awesome. Here, this is Salvia Nemorosa, also known as the pink meadow sage. Like, this is a real heat-hardy, drought-hardy plant. She puts off these beautiful kind of lilac-y, pinky spires that are, again, a great collection of flowers in one spot that make an easy nectar source for your bees. And she is just a trooper. Frulifolia. This is the Golden Empire Bidden Daisy. She is part of the daisy family, and she's cute because she's got this adorable little open-faced flower. Again, real easy pollen access because of the big open petals for your bees. And she will get, say, lower to the ground, get real lush and kind of shrubby with all this greenery, and you'll have these adorable little sunshine pockets popping out all over the place. This beautiful little plant does zones 8 through 11. She's going to go all summer long, and she is just going to be happy and healthy and hardy. Don't water her too much. Put her out there. Trust her to do her own thing, and you will absolutely be happy with the results. This option right here is the garden verbena, part of the verbena family. There's so many different verbena options out there, but this one here in Houston is tried and true. This is great if you want something that's very low lying, kind of like a vine. Put her down, just let her go, and she's going to trail and creep all over the place and produce these beautiful little bundles of flowers. She comes in a lot of different colors, which is really fun. And I love to mix them up because I love seeing a lot of different colors pop up everywhere. But the bees and butterflies love this thing. Oh my gosh, do they love this thing. For those of you who think that nothing will survive Houston heat, that is not true. They are out there. You just got to know which ones to look for. With your pollinator garden, you also can plant a great variety of herbs that are going to not only benefit you and your culinary skills, but are also going to be really helpful for your pollinators. So one of my absolute favorites is basil. One, it's tasty. Two, it smells delightful all the time. And your bees are going to go absolutely crazy for the beautiful little flowers that pop up at the top of your basil. I know some of you out there have heard that, oh, if you want your basil to last longer, make sure you cut off the flowers. Sure, you can do that, or you can just let it flower, let it go to seed, and let your bees and your pollinators really get the benefit of that flower that comes from the top, because it is a great nectar source. My next top herb recommendation for the garden is going to be oregano. I love oregano. I love cooking with oregano. I use it in a lot of food, especially if I'm doing anything Italian. But, oh, it smells so good. Also, it puts up an adorable little flower, and the bees love it. This little guy, a lot of you will recognize. This is a lavender. She smells like sleepy times in good times, and she is an awesome little plant. I love lavender. I love growing lavender. The bees love lavender. But I personally will say that lavender can be a little tricky to grow here in Houston. From my own personal experience, I highly recommend that if you're going to invest in getting some great lavender plants, there are a bunch of different varieties, by the way, that you do it in a pot, because these guys really need to dry out. And here in Houston, the ground tends to stay really wet, especially during our spring season, and these guys really like to dry out. That's why they normally grow really well in the hill country. And she does really well with a strong morning sun and maybe a little more protection in the afternoon, unless she's really well established. Then she'd probably be a little stronger. Just a quick recap. When you're planting your pollinator garden, it's really important to make sure that you have a variety of flowers in your garden. Things are going to have different different nectars. You want to have a lot of pollen flowers in there as well, because you want to make sure that you're giving your bees both nectar and pollen sources, because they really need both to get a complete all the amino acids they need for a complete diet, all the proteins they need. Pollinator garden is always so fun. It's so colorful, and it's so satisfying to walk out into your backyard and just see this beautiful little ecosystem that you're nurturing and caring for, and you're creating this beautiful habitat for nature to come in and have a good time and eat and have a safe space, and it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. Make sure that if you do want to plant a pollinator garden, that you really rethink the way you treat your garden in general. So avoid using any pesticides or herbicides to treat your plants, because those can be harmful chemicals that will affect your bees and butterflies, and we really should respect all the hard work they do and all the good they bring us, and try to do our best to protect them by not using chemicals in our garden that could kill them or make them very sick. So, okay. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions, concerns, anything that you don't think I covered correctly, or if you just have some questions about some of my favorite plants, I'd love to hear from you. For more information, more bee fun, please make sure to check me out on Instagram and Facebook at honeylamafarms.com. And in case you did not know yet, we have a website finally. Yay! Yay! Make sure to check out honeylamafarms.com. Oops, technical difficulty, but like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to follow us at Honey Llama Farms on all social media platforms, as well as check out our new website, www.honeylamafarms.com, for all the beekeeping shenanigans and to see what we're up to. We'll see you soon.